Okay, 11th June at 18:05. That's 6:05 p.m. to you non-initiated. This is the village of Laham. The objective is finally before us. After some heavy fighting, the Germans have been forced to make a stand at the heavily fortified village of Laham. The Germans will not give up the Meridoret crossing without a fight. They will seek to hold the eastern edge of the bridge for as long as possible. To allow defending forces time to escape, assuming those are defending forces in Montebourg itself. Let's see, located in the north and south are some extensive enemy minefields. Enemy defensive line has been identified running between the two flanking minefields. Germans are dug into trench lines, which they have periodically positioned a small number of concrete and wooden bunkers. The entire front is fronted by barbed wire. Excellent. Having resupplied and their forces rested, 2nd Battalion, 325th, is to perform an assault on Laham. So we have D&E companies of glider infantry, we have the battalion engineer platoon, and we have the following artillery assets on call. 319 Glider Field Artillery Battalion, that's our attached artillery with 75mm pack howitzers. Probably just going to have them harass the town. In addition to these assets, you've been granted access to some very heavy artillery assets of 2 107mm mortars, 4.2-inch mortars, and 2 240mm M1 howitzers. Access to these assets are restricted, blah, 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 2 dedicated FO teams, and we also have a couple of target reference points, which I've already previously placed. And at time plus 40, we're going to get 4 Stuart light tanks. So basically, I need to suppress any possible anti-tank threat by time plus 40 minutes. So that's, I'll need to at least have observation over the entire map before I get there. And then those Stuart tanks will come in, and I'm sure they'll easily help me take out anything that's left. Let's see, German strength in the defensive line is estimated around 2 or 3 platoons. That's in the line itself. The Germans will hold reserves in Laham itself. There is no information presently available on the strength of these enemy reserves. Okay, maybe upwards of a full company stationed behind the fortified line. So we're going to have probably a company in the line, and then we're going to have a company behind the line, and I'm opposing them with D&E companies of the 2nd and 325th. So I got 2 companies versus 2 companies. It's not exactly a good ratio in favor of the attacker here, so this is going to be a bit bloody. There are no reports of enemy tanks in the area. It's likely that any armor they might still possess has been pulled back across the Meridoret to safety. Yeah, that just means that there's going to be something. They wouldn't mention it otherwise. Some good news, though, is that German artillery strength that has plagued our forces noticeably eased up throughout the day, and so should not present such a threat to your forces as it has done in earlier missions. Also, reports indicate that the Germans' morale is crumbling due to the unrelenting pressure being exerted upon them by our forces. So they're going to have low morale, and they're not going to have a lot of artillery. That just means they will have some artillery, and it also means that some of these guys are going to be fanatic fight-to-the-death shock troops. I mean, I know how to read mission briefing, okay? Alright, tactical map, let's see. We got fortified lines, several approach routes down into Laval, whatever the hell that is, Laval north and south. And I'm assuming that the actual village of Laham is far behind it. So let's see what we have on the map. We have our 2 companies of glider infantry stretched across the map. I'm assuming that there's going to be minefield here, minefield here. These are my 2 target reference points that I've pre-positioned in the midst of the German defensive line. I think if I turn on landmarks, it'll see it. So we got these little villages down here, Laval North, Laval South. So my very first thoughts are artillery considerations. What do we have? There's one of my forward observers. There's the other forward observer. He's a regular +1. He's a regular +1. Okay. So we have on map 60mm mortars. Don't really care about that. On map 81mm mortars. More 60mm mortars. We're going to be using those in their traditional sense of just dropping mortar rounds behind hedgerows and targeting other things. So My 75mm pack howitzers that I've been said are attached to me don't seem to exist. So, off-map assets, I have 107mm mortar armed with high explosive and white phosphorus. This is the 4.2 inch, I believe it was called chemical mortar, which was basically intended to fire big fucking smoke bombs. But, I mean, if you've got a mortar, you might as well give it some high explosive shells. And then I've got 240mm howitzer. Delivery is less than 1 minute here. It's 19 minutes later on, so 19 minutes in between call. Hopefully the target reference points chop that down quite a bit, because I'm not going to sit here for 19 minutes and suck enemy artillery to try to take out a couple of wooden bunkers. And as you guys have seen previously, the wooden bunkers, after all the updates have rolled down through the years and people complaining about, oh, wooden bunkers are too fragile, now they're basically made out of concrete and you can't even take them out, even with direct impacts from 75mm howitzer fire. I mean, unless you're able to fire directly in the front of it through the firing slit, but that's pretty much it, and it sucks balls. But since I don't know where any of the bunkers are, I'm going to actually have to use my forward observers to spot, observe, and engage. Thankfully, we've got low hedgerow over here, which means I might be able to kind of sneaky right up through here. Maybe put my guys down behind this hedge over here, and then they might be able to spot something in the vicinity of the target reference points. It's going to be a big pain in the ass, and we're going to have to stay very quiet. Very quiet, very sneaky. And of course the map designer loves to put the muddy ground right in front of the hedgerow gates just to slow your guys down as they're trying to go through it, because, you know, the map designer hates you. Don't ever forget that. The map designer hates you. I mean, that's decently covered, but then it's wide open. I would guarantee you there's some kind of lookout team, maybe a light machine gun hidden in this forward hedgerow here. I mean, it would be really stupid not to have that. Even just a tripwire team, you know. My other forward observer, can I bring him over here? No, I can't. Of course, we're split up into two different zones. And there's no easy access from one to the other. Well, there's a gate right there. I guess that would do fine. Basically, the plan that I have in my head for this is going to be the same as I did in Le Cornet. I'm just going to take this entire company, I'm going to move them over here, and then we're just going to push right down one big alleyway with two companies. I'm just going to let the road function as a natural dividing line between the two, because I don't want to waste... Originally it had, like, there was a target reference point over here, and then there was one over here, and it's like, oh yeah, you can... yeah, you can take out a German bunker over here and maybe one over here, and then it's such a pain in the ass trying to take those out. So I'm going to put both of my target reference points on one side. We're hopefully going to be able to nuke all the bunkers over here. There's my oven. And we nuke the bunkers on one side, blast it wide open. I'm going to lay down some harassing fire on the town itself. I wish I had those 75s up and about. I'd actually just put a linear from that little church right there all the way down here, set it to 2 guns or 4 guns or whatever, and harassing fire, and just let rounds impact these buildings just to keep the Germans out of them. But, you know, such is life. What am I going to do? I could use the 81mm mortars for that. I'm not going to be using them for much else. How many of them do I have? It's a good question. Let's go through the force. Let's see what we have. Engineer Platoon HQ, of course he's on the wrong side. That's fine. And then the engineer team has a light machine gun on the wrong side as well. Why did you do that, scenario designer? What was the purpose of that? He's got another light machine gun there. He's got another light machine gun there. Why does the engineer platoon have light machine guns? He's got a bazooka. Another bazooka. engineer squad, and engineer squad. Okay, I suppose if I'm able to take out wooden bunkers over here, we could actually use this route through these fields over here and then approach behind the German line over here. But that'd be horrible, because what happens is basically the ground slopes up to a natural kind of ridge right up here, and then everything down here is on a reverse slope. So any lateral movement along the top of the ridge is likely to get shot at from anybody who's down here at all. So I don't like it. We're just going to have to go straight in. I mean, if it turns into a pain in the ass, so be it. Alright, so we have D Company and a Bazooka M9A1, and then, okay, so first platoon D Company, first squad D Company, and there's their light mortar. Let me undeploy them. Sorry. Mortar ammo bearer. Let's see. Heavy machine gun. M1917A1 water cooled. Heavy machine gun. Excellent. Okay. Second platoon. Second squad's in pretty rough shape. Third squad is short-handed. Mortar team is fine. Mortar ammo bearer is fine. And they also have a heavy machine gun, M1917A1. Would be nice if it would work on wooden bunkers, but it really doesn't. And then they have a weapons platoon, them having more of an infantry-centric organization. So there's a bazooka. There's a light machine gun team, M1919A6, with the bipod and shoulder stock. It's a decent gun. There's a light mortar, mortar ammo bearer, another light mortar. Mortar ammo bearer. Okay. And then for some reason the medium mortar for that platoon is off on the wrong side of the map. Thank you very much. Don't know what the purpose of that is, but okay. And then we have E Company with bazooka. And then they have first platoon, first squad is in pretty good shape. Second squad is missing their squad leader and their assistant leader, but other than that, they're in pretty good shape. They got a lot of rifles. Third squad is a bit short-handed. These guys have been at the front, you know, third squad. Somehow my third squad ends up at the front of the advance. Anyway, light mortar, mortar ammo bearer. Heavy machine gun water cooled again. So far these platoons are pretty decent. Second platoon is in better shape. That squad's in pretty good shape. That squad's in pretty good shape. Integrated light mortar, ammo bearer. They have a bazooka team. And then the weapons platoon. Bazooka team, light machine gun, light machine gun. Light mortar. Light mortar ammo bearer. And then medium mortar for E Company. And then forward observer. Forward observer. See, I don't know why the D company mortar ended up over here, but, you know, what am I going to do? How many rounds do they have? Let me take the ammo bearers. I'm just going to put them in between. Yeah, I suppose. Well, I'm trying to sort things out. Jeez. You okay? It's very enthusiastic, that guy. I suppose. Do I have contact with these? On map 81mm mortar. I think he gets a radio contact through, because he's attached to the battalion HQ. He actually gets radio contact with the 81mm mortars as long as there's an HQ nearby. Okay. So we're going to take E Company HQ, and he's going to be my comm liaison. Okay. And I suppose he probably has contact with both. If I set him to harass, how long would he be able to shoot for? That's the question. I'll start immediately. What is it on harass? About 1 round every minute? Or is it 1 round every 30 seconds? Suppose I could set the other one up like this. Harass maximum. Or do I maybe want to start them further up, you know, shorten the line a little bit and add a little bit more density? I want to be careful though, because of the hedges and stuff. I want my rounds to land inside the yard, not outside. But then again, it's not like I'm using these 81mm mortars for anything else. So I'd say it's probably a decent use of their capabilities. And another use of capability would be maybe if I set up all my 60mm mortars in like a grand battery right here, and I just give them all a harass linear target right across here. Wouldn't that be funny? That would be funny. I mean, I'd rather use them in direct fire if I can. because they've got such a great flexibility. Their minimum range is only 43 meters, so they can literally like park themselves here and shoot on the target right here. So, maybe I could spare half of them. Like, I'll leave the mortars with the infantry platoons. And then take the mortars from the weapon platoons and put them back here with the company HQ. And let them be used up that way. That's probably a bad spot to be. I suppose I could use the company HQ directly, since they're sitting right next to him. Just draw up a linear right here. Harass, maximum, confirm. Not positioned. Why aren't they positioned? Didn't I set them up? I did. Oh, I didn't set up these two. Duh. Deploy. Deploy. That was pretty dumb. Hold on. Ceasefire. Sorry about that. Okay, you two from him. Boink. And harass, maximum, confirm. Multi-battery, linear target. You know, it occurs to me, I could use, yeah, I don't need my FOs to be busy. I need them to actually control the artillery that I need. Out of contact. Wow. Okay. Let me move him back here. There we go. And then I can cease fire with him. Okay. So I'm going to use... E Company to call in the E Company mortar. Harass, maximum, confirm. And then I'm going to use D Company to call in the D Company mortar. Oh, of course he's out of contact. Alright, fine. I'll use E Company to call in both of them. Jesus. Why did you do that, scenario designer? Why did you put the D Company mortar on this side? What were you thinking? Huh? I understand splitting up the engineer platoon, but come on, a company asset, really? It's dumb. Okay. Harass, maximum, confirm. Okay. Honestly, I'd probably be better served putting a point target on that building right there, but... And I'd probably be well served putting a linear right behind this hedgerow over here, or maybe behind that one. But, you know, we can't be too omniscient, otherwise the scenario wouldn't be any fun. So, artillery fire plan, we've got 4 60mm orders just firing some harassment all along this line. That's where the main trench line is going to be, blah, 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 and a bunch of bunkers and stuff. I'm going to have to use the FOs to target any bunkers that we see. And as far as this side of the line, I think there's a wooden bunker probably right in here, given this little cleared gappy spot right there. Probably one right there, but we got pretty solid hedgerow going all the way across, except for a little gap through this guy, which means he can probably see and shoot down here on the road. So that's why you don't go up the road. But he's pretty cut off from the other side of the map, so we're going to focus our entire time and attention on this side of the line. I'm anticipating at least 3 bunkers, one in this cleared spot, one in this cleared spot, and one in this cleared spot down here. Now the briefing spoke of minefields. That probably means this whole area over here is covered with mines, so I'm not going to go through there at all. And it probably means that this area down here, you can see where that fence is, and then it's really like thick overgrown crap down in here. That's probably got landmines all stuck in it, so we're not going to go down that way either. So in broad strokes, our plan of advance is quite simple. We're just going to sneak forward until we make contact with bunkers. We're going to try to take them out with artillery, and once they're taken out, I'm going to advance kind of on conventional fashion down the hedge down over here. And once I've suppressed any enemies in this hedge up here, I'm going to take another platoon and send them around this side. And we're going to try to make like just a company-wide advance right across here, down into here, suppress this defense line, move forward. We're going to occupy it and use it as positions to look down over here, although I think, yeah, the reverse slope is a bit too high, so you can't actually observe from there. So what we're going to have to do is we might have to wait for the tanks, because there's no easy approach route going down in there unless I use the engineers to cut me a gap. Nah, because the enemy can still observe over here. Frickin' scenario designers, I swear to God. It's like, yeah, they can observe here and they can observe here, but they can't see right down the middle because, you know, hey. The map makers, they do that on purpose, just so you know. They're a bunch of sadists. There's at least partial coverage over here, which means we could come up into here, turn right, cut through this hedgerow. The road is a bit open, but I doubt there's anything looking directly down it unless they park like a tank down at the end, which I doubt. Cut through this hedgerow here, and then we are in the rear of the enemy defensive positions up here. I'm pretty sure there's trenches and bunkers up here. So we could actually peel this side apart, perhaps, as long as it's not observable from the other side. And it doesn't look like it is. You actually have to get about here before the enemy can really see you. So we got a little bit of room right here to get in the rear of the enemy position, just opening it up a little bit. And once it's open, we can kind of just move right down the road into the town. Maybe use some more satchel charges to bust our way in through some hedgerows on either side or something like that. But that's planning a bit too far ahead. So for right now, our basic objective is going to be, let's just neutralize this defense line over here. I know it's there. You can tell because there's artillery impacts over here. You can see the cleared spots where the bunkers are and everything. It's going to be right there. So we're going to worry about that first. Hit that, neutralize it, and then I'll figure out where I'm going afterwards. The only thing I need to do right now is figure out which platoon is going to take the lead. Because I think first platoon, they're a bit beat up. A bit short-handed, a bit beat up. Second platoon is also a bit beat up. I can stiffen them with some light machine guns and some engineers if I have to. I'd rather not send actively wounded guys into action if I can avoid it. So we're probably going to hit... they got one yellow base wounded, but that's not so bad. But first platoon is short-handed. Second platoon is a little bit better on the head count, except for third squad. Yeah, looks like first platoon is going to get the draw on this one. So they're going to be up first. Mostly just a move to contact right through this this area here. Second platoon will be on backup. The weapons platoon right here is going to go second. And the engineers are also going to be going second for stiffening. So that's how we're going to echelon ourselves. First platoon, engineers and weapons platoon, and then second platoon to exploit if possible. Artillery assets are staying back with the company HQ. This bazooka right here, I guess I could move him up to the road. I'm just going to leave him right here. You never know. There could be like an armored car that just goes down the road like right at the beginning. You don't know. Scenario designers are crazy. Sometimes they do things like that. Well, hell, I'll put that bazooka right there too. There. A decent little ambush spot. Boop, boop. Done. Okay. The FO is not going to go first. I will be sending a lead scout out of one of these squads. Whichever one. Well, they're all about equal in strength. That one has 2 light machine BARs. That's nice. So I'm going to send the scout out of this guy. I think he's got a couple more dudes. Give me a lead scout. There we go. And since you're scouting, what's that? First squad B team. Where's first squad? And since you're scouting, we're going to have you take an assault team, 3 guys including squad leader, and a base of fire team with 03A4, the grenade launcher, and the BAR with the assistant squad leader. So that's how first squad's going to be divvied up. Second squad is going to go next. In fact, I'll just put second squad over here. Now, they got a pretty decent team set up already, so I'm just going to split teams. We're going to get 3 teams of 3 guys each. They got an anti-tank with no bazooka, but that's fine. But we got squad leader, we got BAR gunner, and we got another BAR gunner. So they've got quite a bit of automatic firepower in that squad. And then third squad, how about an assault team? And then for these 2, we're just going to split them. So we got a rifle team and a BAR/heavy weapon team. Machine gun ammo bearer. He's part of first squad. You're going to go over there, and the platoon HQ in the middle. Okay. So that is first platoon, organized, ready to go. Weapons platoon is just going to be on standby. So let's take first team bazooka. He's standing in the middle. Second team machine gun is going to be over here. Third team machine gun over here. -2 leader. I don't like that. So we're going to have to be careful with him. And we have light machine gun. He's basically going to be the lead scout for the engineer squad. Facing that direction, you dummy. And I'm just going to split teams because there's no reason not to. So there's 1 team there and 1 team there. And then the second echelon is going to consist of, third squad's going to be in reserve. So we're going to have 2 up, 1 back, first and second squad. Machine gun and ammo bearer, mortar and ammo bearer. I'm not going to bother breaking them all down into teams because I don't have to. I'm just going to leave them like that. It's 2 up, 1 back. Like I said, when they do move into contact, I'm just going to move full squads until they actually make contact. Then I'll split them down into teams based on what I need. But they're probably going to end up just sitting here for a while. Company HQ is just going to sit here for a while, and honestly I don't really need to mess with this guys over here yet because I'm not planning on using them. The actual tip of the spear is a single platoon right over here with a forward observer, and that's about it. With the weapons platoon minus mortars. Over here at least I can figure out my order of advance even if I'm not going to do anything with them yet. Let's see, First platoon seems in better shape. Yeah. Water ammo bearer and bazooka. And they're going to be led off by a forward observer when they do move. Obviously, I'll split a lead scout from first squad. I'm not dumb. Let's see. So first platoon, weapons platoon. That's their order of march, and first squad. With platoon leader, machine gun, and mortar. As far as the engineer platoon goes, honestly, I don't know what to do with them. I'll take second section engineer. Let me face them up. There we go. Second section engineer can be assigned to second platoon over here. And then this section is going to hang out here with the leader. I don't know why they have so many light machine guns. I guess I could use them in pairs, right? Light machine gun, bazooka, light machine gun, bazooka. Why not? Little kind of scout tripwire teams with bazookas in them, just because I can. The company level bazookas are going to act autonomously. Basically, if I see any targets for them, I'll maneuver them and attack. But there is a shortage of bazookas going on. I've got one here. I got the company bazooka there. And then I have the company bazooka there, and then second platoon has a bazooka of their own. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, it's kind of nice. We get a bazooka, two extras just in case. Can't think of anything else to do right now. So there's your mission briefing. Hope you enjoyed it. Not much else to do, just mostly establishing order of march in advance and just doing some basic terrain analysis, which I've already kind of looked at the map before, you know, a while ago. It's been a long time since I've played any combat mission, honestly. So we're going to continue with this, and also I've got a couple of smaller videos, little bite-sized things that I'm thinking about putting together too. It's going to be time dependent. I did have today off of work, so I'm going to try to throw in about 10 or 20 turns on this, make a whole video out of it, and then we'll see what happens after that. But, you know, I can't promise anything, and I can't guarantee anything right now, so anyway, hope you enjoyed it. We'll see what happens after I hit the big red button. But for now, I'll let you go. Okay, bye.